Task 4. A carnival attraction tests your strength by how far in the air you can drive a weight with a hammer. If the weight reaches 15 feet, you win a prize. The equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 31t plus 2 gives the height h of the weight t seconds after you hit it. We want to know how long is the weight moving, what was the weight's maximum height, and did we get to win a prize? How would we know? All right. So we've got another quadratic equation, and it's a rough sketch of what this is going to look like. So my height t seconds. So the height, I'll let represent my y-axis. My t will represent the x-axis. It looks like the weight is about 2 feet off the ground, and I know that because my y-intercept right there is 2. So this point right here is going to be at 0, 2. And the weight, it looks like we're going to go up and then it's going to come back down. And if it reaches 15 feet, then I get the prize. So let's see if we get to that 15 feet. That's how we're going to know how to answer part C. So first of all, how long is the weight moving? Well, the weight distance in time is from when you hit it, where t is 0, all the way to where it comes back down and stops moving again. So that would come from start to finish. When is t 0? Sorry, when is height 0? From 2, 0, 2 to 0t. So we need to figure out what this solution is. And in order to figure out the solution, we are going to have to use the quadratic formula. So I've got h equals negative 16t squared plus 31t plus 2. So using the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c. And all of this divided by 2 times a. Now this number is going to get pretty big, so I'm actually going to be typing directly into my calculator this whole thing. All of this I'm going to type into my calculator, including the square root. So I've got square root of parentheses 31, and I am going to use the parentheses wherever I see them, wherever I wrote them down, squared minus 4 times in parentheses negative 16 times in parentheses 2. And then I'm square rooting that, and I should be getting, oh, look at that. It was a perfect square root. How nice. Negative 31 plus or minus 33 all over, well, 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. So I have two answers right now, and I'm either going to have negative 31 plus 33 all divided by negative 32, or I've got negative 31 minus 33 all divided by negative 32. Now, one of these answers, we got to look to see, are we going to have answers that make sense in this context? Looking at our sketch of a parabola, we already know that at some point, if we continue this on, we've got a solution set that's going to be at a negative time. So if I get a value for t or for my x, if you think about our standard form of quadratic equations, and it's negative, I know that doesn't make sense. So that can't be actually a part of my solution. So I'm going to focus on my positive one. So maybe looking at these two, we have option 1 here, and we have option 2 right here. Which one of those is going to end up being positive? Because if you find which one's negative, we don't even need to do the math here. Well, I'm looking and I'm seeing negative 31 plus 33. Well, that's going to be a positive number. Positive number divided by a negative number is negative. So I'm not even going to worry about this one. That would give me a negative answer. So focusing on my positive solution, I have negative 31 minus 33, which is negative 64. Negative 64 divided by negative 32 is a positive 2. So one of my solutions is at t equals positive 2. So we're at 2 when our time was at 0. So that means the time it took for it to go up and over, that time traveled there, was 2 seconds. So how long is the weight moving? 2 seconds. What was the weight's maximum height? So to find my maximum height, I need to find the vertex. So I'm looking at, well, x equals negative b divided by 2a. So I've got negative 31 divided by 2 times negative 16. I'm going to type this one into my calculator, negative 31 divided by 2 times negative 16. And I got a decimal, and that's okay that you are going to get decimals sometimes. And if we do get a decimal, we probably aren't going to want to write down the whole decimal if it goes out past 4 decimal places. So this is when we're going to start working on rounding. So when I'm looking at my answer, I got 0.9696875, and I don't want to write all of that down. So I'm going to round this to 2 decimal places. So my axis of symmetry, the x value, the time at which I got to my max height, I'm going to say is about, and usually we use squiggly equal signs if we're rounding, about 0.9, let's go 97 seconds. Okay, so that's a rounded answer. I actually got 96875. I'm not going to write all that down, which makes sense, right? Because about 97.97 is about halfway from the start to the finish. Not exactly halfway, otherwise it'd be exactly 1. But if my y-intercept is 2, maybe that makes sense that it was a little bit smaller than 1 full second. All right, so now that I know my x value for my height, I actually need to know what is the y value there. So I'm looking for when x is 0.97, what's my y value? So we're going to plug that back into the original equation. So right here, instead of a t, I'll put 0.97. Instead of a t, I'll put 0.97. I'm going to use my calculator for this part too. Make use of the tools you have. So I'll do negative 16 times 0.97 squared plus 31 times 0.97 plus 2. And I got an answer of 17.12, rounding to 2 decimal places again. So what was my max height? 17.12 feet. There you go. So then the question is, did I win the prize, and how do I know? Well, did I win the prize? Did I reach 15 feet? I did. So yes, because 17 is greater than 15. Guess I'm super strong. All right. Okay, that's task number 4. We're going to continue with more tasks on day 2 of this. You have 4 more tasks that we will work on next time I see you guys. All right, have a wonderful day, everyone. Good luck. If you are having more questions, make sure that you are reaching out to your intermediate teacher, either email or Zoom or whenever you see them next.